How Islam Came to Africa, by blood force or faith. The spread of Islam into Africa is a rich, complex story, one of trade, migration, preaching, diplomacy, and at times, violence. Far from a one-dimensional tale of conquest, Islam's expansion across the African continent varied greatly by region, era, and circumstance. To understand whether Islam came to Africa by blood or force, we must journey through centuries of history and across vast territories, from the sands of the Sahara to the coasts of the Swahili. The first encounter, Africa as Islam's refuge, 615 CE. Ironically, the first contact between Africa and Islam was not through war, but sanctuary. In 615 CE, during the early days of Islam in Mecca, a small group of Muslims fled persecution and crossed the Red Sea to the Christian kingdom of Axum, modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. The Prophet Muhammad had advised them to seek protection from Negus al-Najashi, the Christian king, saying he was a just ruler. The king gave them asylum. This event, known as the First Hijra, migration, is a powerful counterpoint to the claim that Islam entered Africa by force. In fact, Ethiopia became a safe haven for early Muslims, so much so that the Prophet instructed later Muslims to never attack Axum. North Africa conquest and consolidation, 640-700 CE. Islam entered North Africa via conquest during the Rashidun and Umayyad caliphates. Following the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632 CE, Muslim armies swept out of the Arabian Peninsula. By 640 CE, under Amr ibn al-As, Muslim forces captured Egypt from the Byzantine Empire. Over the next decades, the Muslim conquest moved westward through Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and finally Morocco by early 700 CE. Battle of Carthage, 698 CE, marked the final defeat of Byzantines in North Africa. Kairouan, founded in 670 CE in modern Tunisia, became the first major Islamic city in Africa and a center for Islamic scholarship and governance. These campaigns were clearly military, though conversion of the local Berber populations was gradual and uneven. Resistance from Berber tribes was fierce, particularly under leaders like Kahina, a Berber queen who opposed Arab conquest. However, many Berbers later embraced Islam, some voluntarily, others under pressure, and went on to play crucial roles in Islamic empires, including the Almoravid and Almohad dynasties. West Africa, the power of trade and preaching, 8th–15th century. Islam's spread in West Africa was largely peaceful and driven by trade, not the sword. Beginning in the 8th century, Muslim traders from North Africa, known as Berbers and Tuaregs, crossed the Sahara Desert into the Sahel and beyond. These traders brought not only goods, salt, textiles, books, but also the teachings of Islam. Gao and Timbuktu in the Mali Empire, 13th–15th centuries, became centers of Islamic learning and culture. The legendary Emperor Mansa Musa, r. 1312–1337, a devout Muslim, made a pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, famously distributing gold and elevating Mali's prestige. In these kingdoms, conversion was often top-down. Rulers adopted Islam to strengthen ties with North African states and enhance their legitimacy. Their subjects followed gradually, but traditional African religions often persisted in parallel. East Africa, Swahili Islam and maritime exchange, 8th–15th century. Islam came to East Africa through Indian Ocean trade rather than conquest. From the 8th century, Arab and Persian merchants began settling along the Swahili coast. Modern-day Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique. Cities like Mombasa, Zanzibar, and Kilwa became vibrant Islamic centers. By the 12th century, Islam had deeply influenced Swahili culture, language, architecture, and governance. There is no record of large-scale military conquest here. Instead, intermarriage, commerce, and intercultural exchange facilitated the peaceful Islamization of coastal populations. Sudan and the Nile Valley. Gradual encroachment, 14th–16th century. Islam slowly infiltrated Nubia, modern Sudan and southern Egypt, over centuries, replacing long-standing Christian kingdoms like Makuria and Alodia. Unlike the rapid conquest of North Africa, Islam spread here through intermarriage, migration, and the weakening of Christian institutions, especially after the 14th century. By the 16th century, under the Funj Sultanate, Islam had become dominant, though often mixed with indigenous beliefs. Central and Southern Africa. In Central Africa, Islam spread mainly through wandering scholars, Sufi missionaries and trading networks rather than armies. This form of Islam was often syncretic, blending Islamic practices with local customs. By the 19th century, Muslim clerics had reached parts of Chad, Cameroon, and northern Nigeria. In Hausaland, figures like Usman Dan Fodio launched jihad movements, but these were often aimed at purifying Islam rather than forcibly converting animists or Christians.